This one is coming from Pakistan, where the media in Pakistan have been reporting about a huge blast that has taken place in Quetta near FC Musa checkpoint. In fact, this is in Balochistan. The ongoing Pakistan Super League exhibition match in Quetta between Quetta Gladiators and Peshawar Zalmi has been stopped, is what we are told. And we also are learning that there are possibly a lot of people who have been injured in this explosion that's been reported in Quetta. At least 5 people, we are also being told, have been injured in this explosion. To learn more about what exactly has happened, let me cut across to my colleague Siddhant, who is joining us live from the CNN News 18 newsroom. Siddhant, what do we learn about this explosion that's been reported in Quetta?
Well, that's right. And in fact, what we have been given to understand is that this blast has taken place in Bolan district. So this Quetta falls in Bolan district of Pakistan. And in fact, this is a cantonment area where this blast has taken place near a checkpoint. Also, interestingly, PSL match was going on in the same district. It was an exhibition match. And we have been told that the 2 security personnel were injured, and this was a roadside blast. And in fact, the official number of injured and dead is yet to be released by the authorities in Pakistan. But these 2 security personnel, those who have got injured, belong to Frontier Corps and were escorting the vehicle of one of the officers when this blast took place. Also, the security forces have cordoned off the entire area, and the search operation is going on. So this is perhaps the 3rd blast in a week's time, and it also reflects on the internal law and order situation in Pakistan and how Pakistan is paying the price of endorsing terrorism right now, that their own religious places are being attacked, their own cities are under the attack. And the police security setup establishment this is a complete failure of police security setup establishment in Pakistan, that a 3rd blast is taking place in a week's time.
Absolutely. And Siddhant, any idea about the intensity of this blast? Like you've been mentioning, we cannot right now underline for our viewers as to how many people have been injured or if there are any casualties. But it was very, very close to the police lines in Quetta from where this news is coming out. And the match also, the Pakistan Super League match also has been stopped, in the aftermath of these explosions.
Well, that's right. And in fact, this has happened in a cantonment area. So cantonment area of any city is the most high security area. And if this is happening in the cantonment area, and that too when a police patrol vehicle was passing by and blast took place and 2 of the Jawans have got injured, at the same time we have also been told that the PSL match has been stopped for now. Also, this brings a bad reputation for Pakistan, especially when IMF teams are camping in Islamabad and doing a 9th review for the next installment to the country. So it is also bringing a bad name, also reflects on the current situation in Pakistan. Mainly, Pakistan is going to blame Afghanistan for this blast also. The organizations like Tehreek-e-Taliban and the similar military groups that are mushrooming in Pakistan, which is making situation worse with each passing day. And Pakistan government, security setup, ISI, completely, it's their failure because it is a 3rd blast in a week's time.
Right. Siddhant, thank you so much for that information. Taking this across to Pathikrit Payne, who's a security analyst, also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Payne, the fact that we're talking about a 3rd such blast in Pakistan within a week's time, like my colleague Siddhant was also mentioning, this explosion also coming in days after the ghastly Peshawar blast that nearly claimed 80 lives.
Well, Pakistan right now is going through what is called multiple organ failure. And Pakistan is behaving like a malignant tumor where each organ is getting affected. So the series of blasts, the economic implosion, the sectarian violence, the ethnic rivalry, these are normal indications of how a state eventually starts failing and what happens. So I'm not surprised by what happened in Balochistan. So the series of attacks, whether it is in Swat Valley or Balochistan or in Karachi or some of them happening in Punjab, has now become a norm than an exception. And this is exactly what happens when a country does not have a core objective of creating economic revolution, focusing on education development and infrastructure building. If a country is built on spreading in radical indoctrination for the purpose of using its strategic location to foment trouble in other places, and if a country is based on spreading of hatred, then eventually that hatred turns into a Frankenstein, and this is exactly what is happening. So on one hand, you have the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, then there is a Pakistan Tehreek-e-Labbaik, which is now giving sermons that Pakistanis should hold a nuclear bomb in one hand and go to countries like Sweden and ask for economic help, or else they will blast the bombs. So this is a deranged mentality of the deep state that it has harbored. Now it is actually impacting the country itself, which has done all that preaching. So frankly speaking, today as things stand in Pakistan, people don't get surprised anymore. People get surprised when a blast doesn't happen on a particular day. So I think whether it is in Balochistan or whether it is in Swat Valley, this implosion from inside will get even more aggravated as the economic woes become more profound. It is already very precarious. It is going to get worse by the day. Economic implosion will lead to more sectarian violence and call for secessionist movements. Balochistan doesn't want to be part of Pakistan. Swat Valley is being taken over by Tehreek-e-Taliban. All that would remain would be Punjab or Pakistan, nothing else.
And Pathikrit, since we're talking about economy here, it's a failing economy. There are members of the IMF who are currently in Islamabad actually trying to deal with the situation and see what can be done in the name of that economic leverage and the money that can be given to Pakistan. In the wake of that also, we are seeing blasts. Do you see similarities in what had happened in Peshawar just a few days ago, which was also a blast, which was very close to the police line, something similar that has happened today in Quetta?
Well, it is generally presumed. See, blast in mosque has been a norm than an exception in Pakistan for a long time. There are organizations like the Sipahi Sahiba which has done it. This time, Tehreek-e-Taliban is being blamed for the blast in Peshawar. But there are also these allegations, the police forces over there were doing a protest saying that wo jo na malum hai, wo hame malum hai, which means that there is something more than what meets the eyes. There are certain apprehensions and conspiracy theories that the blast over there was done by the deep state to prevent an election, because if there's an election, possibility of Imran Khan's party winning is very, very profound. Okay. But as I stated, when it comes to the economic issue, the conditions that IMF is trying to put in terms of asking the government of Pakistan to reveal all the white papers in terms of the amount of money that is given to the armed forces, the amount of money which is siphoned off, the amount of money which is spent by the Fauji Foundation. These generals have amassed billions of dollars. So they don't want that IMF policy to be implemented. And if the IMF policy gets implemented, prices of all essential commodities are going to rise. Pakistan has been told to raise its revenue. So that is not going to happen. If it happens, it's going to create even more profound problems. And as I stated, these are all interlinked. If you have seen, even a country like Sri Lanka, which doesn't have, as of right now, any issue of radical extremism, but an economic condition like that in Sri Lanka created massive civil unrest. Compare that with the situation in Pakistan, which is already volatile, where every other person has a radical extremist mindset with an AK-47 in hand. So what happens? You are angry with the government. The government of Pakistan, as it is totally centered around the army. So they will vent their frustration by doing explosions and killings, as it is. These keep on happening in Pakistan. But now it is going to get aggravated and amplified even more. So there may not be a direct connection, but each would actually fuel the other. That is exactly what is happening in Pakistan right now.